Hello, 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 and welcome. I am an hour later than my normal Let's Chat time because my internet decided to go out like 5 minutes before I was supposed to go live. I'm very, very grateful that it was only a little over an hour before it came back, though. So that is wonderful. And it's actually kind of helpful for the topic for today on what we're going to discuss too on when we deal with those kind of hiccups that come up. I don't have control over when my internet works and when it doesn't work, but thankfully the vast majority of the time it does work. So I'm Carol C.C. Miller, your positive impact coach, peace activator, and global hugger, coming to you on Tuesdays and Thursdays live here in Facebook land to offer you tips and tools and ideas on how to heighten your celebrations and lessen your sorrows through a positive focus. Before we get into today's topic, I always like to remind you, I just use the word always, which is not one of my words. I like to remind you, especially if you're new to the broadcast, a little bit of background on where I come from, stand. I'm not a big fan of the word always and never. I've done things that I said I would never do. So I tend to go with, I can't imagine ever doing that, or the majority of times I do this, because absolutes for me, I almost said always again, there's going to be people that don't fit that role, that one size fits all. So if I believe never or always, it's not going to work for some people. So whatever I share with you here, it's an invitation. It might be an encouragement, but it's never a need that you have to do. It's what works for you. Leave the rest behind. I also work on a scale of 0 to 100, where it's 0, you're not kind, you're not loving, you're not compassionate, you're not peaceful, to 100, where always you are that. And I'm not sure if anybody lives in the 0 range or anybody lives in the 100 range. That's why it's a range. I work on for myself, my daily practices is to keep me in the 80 to 100 range. And I've got the tools that when I fall out of those ranges to go back into it. And it's because I focus on what feels good for me. When I'm working with clients and coaching clients, I would say probably the majority are in the 40 to 70 range, and below 40, it's not like it's a bad thing or a wrong thing, but you probably don't resonate with me because where you are right now, it just doesn't work, and that's okay. And if you choose to want to feel a little bit better, then maybe you'll be drawn to my work at a different time. It's not a right or wrong, it's just where you are right now. But that brings us to our word for today that I wanted to talk about, and that is momentum. So the definition, Merriam-Webster's definition of momentum, is strength or force gained by motion or by a series of events. The internet going out on me, I could have created a momentum of, I can't believe this is happening. Now you're throwing my day all off. Everything is going to be slower than it was. I'm not going to get as much work done. And I could have built and built and built and built momentum around things not working out for me. It's an option. I would have to say I didn't even go there for a second. I was a little disappointed that I wasn't going to go live when I said I was, because that's following my word. I said I would be here at 11:30 and I wasn't. You know, circumstances come up, the extenuating circumstances that I don't have control of come up. So I was able to shift it and know when it's time, when it's ready, when the internet's back and I'm available, I will do my live then, and we'll be able to talk about momentum then. So you get up in the morning, you might stub your toe, you might not have gotten enough sleep the night before, maybe you had a bad dream or whatever, and it's easy to let that shift of momentum build and build and build and build in a negative way that keeps you in that stuck, fearful, frustrated energy. But guess what? Momentum works the opposite too. When you start focusing on the way you want things to go and build that momentum and see the appreciation in your day and see the things that are working out well for you in the day and build from that momentum too. So momentum isn't a positive word or a negative word. It's what you do with it. It's how you work with that word. So if you've had a meeting that didn't go well for you, you can easily beat that drum of the boss didn't listen to you, they took too much of your time, nothing got done or accomplished or whatever. Or you could refocus on what you want to build that momentum. So I think if you start using the word momentum and pay attention to it, when you go into that negative space, we all do. I teach love, kindness, compassion, and peace. That's what my daily practice is. And guess what? I still have fear. I still have frustration. I still get mad. But because I'm aware of it and I realize, I'm building the wrong momentum. I'm taking that train down a path that I don't want to go on because it doesn't feel good to be in blame, shame, and complain. It doesn't feel good for me to be angry. It doesn't feel good for me to be disappointed in myself or frustrated with anybody or myself. So I can shift it into the momentum that I want to. Now, obviously, there are big challenges and hurdles in our life that shifting that momentum doesn't happen like that. I like to be on the water. I've been sailing for many, many years. And when I think about it, I was just on the water yesterday. And there was this massive, massive barge that was going down the river as I was coming up the river. And for it to shift, for it to change course, it has thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds and tonnage. So it can't shift its momentum quickly. It has to make clear, concise decisions, and it's still going to take time to slow it down, to start turning it and to start shifting it. Whereas I was on a 22-foot sailboat, I think, I can shift my turn and make my adjustments a lot quicker. So if you're having a really hard time in your life right now, it might be that there's been so much momentum built up on the hard time, not making you wrong or not making it like you should have done something different before. But certain situations, it's easy to get that buildup that it just takes a little bit more work. It takes a little bit more dedication and practice to turn that around. I also like to liken it to cars. You're going to be able to make shifts and turns in a Ferrari a lot quicker than you're going to be able to do in a minivan. So the more you practice the direction you want to go in, the more you're gentle with yourself when you're not going in the direction you want to go in, the easier it's going to be. So the word of the day is momentum. I like to use affirmation. So our affirmation for today is I'm excited about the positive momentum I'm gaining. And if you're right now not gaining positive momentum and maybe you're in that space of frustration, fear, anger, hurt, disappointment, try out, I'm in the process of gaining positive momentum. I'm in the process of being gentle with myself as I focus on positive momentum. Do it where you're not there yet, but that's what you're working for. That's what you're striving to gain, because we all have moments in our life, and some of those moments last days, some of them last weeks and months, and maybe years, depending on what you're going through. So it's not about beating yourself up for where you're at right now, but it is about looking to where you want to be, finding as much appreciation as you can for where you're at right now, and slowly shift that momentum into where you want to go and into that appreciation. So some tips, let me give you my quotes that I like to come up with as well. All that is important is in this one moment in movement. Make the moment important. Okay, let me redo this one. All that is important is this one moment in movement. Make the moment important, vital, and worth living. Do not let it slip away unnoticed and unused. Martha Graham. And she was a dancer choreographer. And I think it really is important. We can really see today, we're on Tuesday, and it might not seem a lot different than Monday, and it might not seem a lot different than tomorrow's going to be. But if we can stay present in this moment and see the preciousness of it, focus on what we want our next moments to be, but really just stay centered in who we are right now, we're going to be able to shift and build that momentum rather than looking at the past that we may not appreciate, or maybe we loved our past and where we're at right now we're not really happy about. or the future that we might be excited about, or the future that we might be dreading because something's coming up that we're not looking forward to. The more we can stay in this moment, stay secure, and know that we're worthy of feeling good in this moment, the more that we're going to be able to build that momentum from there. And then the second quote I had today is, to accomplish great things, we must not only act, but also dream, not only plan, but also believe. Anatole France is who has that one. And I think it is also important too, like to maybe where you're at right now isn't what you want to be, but you can dream about where you're going. You can make plans about where you're going. You get excited about where you're going, and you can be gentle with yourself where you are right now if it's not where you want to be. I think we tend to be our worst enemies, and we can really beat ourselves up for decisions that maybe if we had a little bit more information, a little bit more courage, a little bit more time, we might have made a different decision. But the decision we made at that moment is the decision we needed to make at that moment. So be gentle and kind to yourself as you move through your day, building the momentum that you want to build on the life you want to live and the life you deserve to live. So some tips on shifting momentum would be: take a nap, appreciation, start saying thank you, thank you, thank you. Look at things in your day that are going the way that you want to. Find people that you admire and respect and see how their lives are going the way that you would like your life to go. Rather than being jealous or envious, be happy for them and say, I want that too. Be gentle with yourself and do what you can from where you are to shift into focusing on love, kindness, compassion, and peace for yourself. And then it's going to ripple out to those around you as well. So deep breathing is also another good thing, because that reshifts you back into the present moment if you stop and take some conscious breaths, because many of us are on autopilot a lot of our day, and we're not even paying attention to our thoughts. We're not paying attention to our words, and not even our actions. When we're aware of our thoughts, when we're aware of our words, and when we're aware of our actions, that's when we could say, this is exactly what I want, or I need to shift and refocus and change my momentum to what I do want. So moving your body, dance, take a walk. There's so many different things that can shift that momentum. Remember, depending on where you are, you might be in a barge situation that it's going to require some more work to make that shift. Or it might be you're in that sports sailboat or sports car that you can shift it a lot quicker because you haven't allowed that momentum to build up to the point of having it being heavy and massive and hard to turn around. I just really encourage you, whatever you're going through today, to remember that you're worthy of living the life that you dream of. You're worthy of greater happiness. You're worthy of greater health. You're worthy of abundance, and you're worthy of magical experiences. Just because you're here, there's nothing else you have to do about that. I did say a couple of days ago or last week, you do need to breathe and you do need to have a heartbeat. But other than that, those are things that just come. So focus on who you are, what you want out of life, and what you deserve out of life, and start creating from there. Be gentle for maybe missteps that you've taken in your past, or maybe missteps that you're going to take today or in your future. That's part of living. It makes the entire world that we live in, which is big, beautiful, and it's messy. So that's kind of a little bit like our lives too. We can live a big, beautiful life, and there's probably going to be some messiness in it. And the more we're gentle with ourselves during that mess, the easier it will dissolve and allow us to build that momentum back up into what we want it to be. So hour late, but I still wanted to come on and talk momentum. I will be here again on Thursday. Not sure what the topic will be yet. Hi, Christina, Stacy. I just lost your comment, Christina. So stuck. This helps. Thank you. Yeah, so it's really, again, Christina, when you're stuck, and we all get there. I get stuck on things, especially I'm a writer. And let me tell you, it's exactly when I need to do a blog is when I have writer's block. But just be gentle with yourself in there. And maybe instead of seeing this being stuck, maybe see it as slowing down to look at different ways to achieve what you want to achieve. Because we can also get so tunnel vision that it has to be this way. And another experience is like, look at me over here. I'm much easier than the way you're choosing. So even reframe the idea that you're stuck into reframing it into, you know what, I'm going to look at all the options and I'm going to be open to seeing which one works best for me. Because the words we use, the thoughts we think, the actions we take are all helping us build momentum. It's not wrong to have a momentum going down what you don't want. It's slowing your, it's taking away from the do wants, but it does not make you a bad person to be negative. It does not make you a bad person when you're angry or frustrated. Guess what it does make you? It makes you a human, because we all have those experiences. And the more we practice who we want to be, how we want to show up, the easier it is to shift that momentum. So wherever you are today, whether you're in the 80 to 100 range, whether you're in the 40 to 60 range, and I'm even going to say the 0 to 20, although I think if you're in the 0 to 20, you probably didn't turn on to watch the live, or you immediately shut it off. But who knows? Maybe today is that day for you to hear that you are deserving of feeling better. It's not a negative judgment. It's just meeting you wherever you are, and that's where you need to be today. Hi, Sylvia. So good to see you here, too. Hi, Jackie. Wonderful to see you as well. I will come back in and check on those messages. Please leave me any questions, comments, and if there's a topic that you would like me to address to bring a little bit more love, kindness, compassion, and peace to it, I would be honored to consider it for another Tuesday, Thursday live. I think it's important to bring love, kindness, compassion, and peace to challenging topics. There are certainly some topics, because I don't consider myself, I wouldn't say I'm an expert at most things, but if it's a heavy enough topic, maybe I would get somebody who is an expert in that situation to be able to bring some light of love to it. But if it's something that you're going through that I can help build your momentum towards what you want in your life, rather than focusing on what you don't want, that's what I'm here for, is to help heighten celebrations and lessen sorrows through a positive focus. So go out there and build your momentum. There's not a time frame that you have to do it in. It's just about feeling a little bit better than what you feel right in this moment, and shifting it a little bit. If you're on that barge, be gentle with yourself. If you're in that sports car, be careful, because those shifts can happen quickly too. So wherever you are, it's worth looking into to see how you can feel a little bit better. And remember, you matter to me, you matter to the world, and most importantly, you matter to you. So we'll talk again soon on Thursday. Don't know what the topic will be yet, but it will come to me, and we'll talk then. So long for now. Build loving, kind, compassionate, and peaceful momentum. Talk soon. Bye-bye for now.